For further considerations and to go on for, let's say, building up a healthy ecosystem and eco-environment where the digital business has to run, one of the popular and persistent considerations is the bring your own device, the BYOD considerations. Let's take our case actually, the University of Niswa here campus. All the students, they are bringing their mobile devices and they are getting connected to the network here of the campus, the internal network. They can access actually the internet and the web and the internal resources using their own devices. The same way for the administrators, the lecturers and the teaching staff. Everybody, I believe, they are using their own mobile devices. And all of them also, they are getting access to the local network using the internet through the Wi-Fi of the University of Niswa, accessing their resources, their files, and their, let's say, needed files and their stored files locally using their own devices also. What's the problem here? There's no problem here. Is that this is actually an enhancement. The company or the organization in question will not spend money in delivering devices. It is a positive fact that you, as a consumer, or let's say as an employee to the organization, you bring your own device to use or to consume, or let's say to procure if you are actually a supplier. Whatever resources are, let's say, needed resources, using your own device. That's perfect. So economically here, and when we talk about the economy theory as per the definition, the cost is being reduced here. So positive fact. It's an added value here. These are actually as per the definition. In chapter number 8, what we're going to see in a couple of classes in the future, the bring your own device is a security threat. Positively and economically, actually, something that we can refer to as an added value that the company goes for to succeed in building up the scenario of the theory of the economy. So economically, it's worth to let everybody bring their own devices. Bring your own device is in the budget-wise, matter of economy, it's worth to make the company actually accept and admit that to happen. Just simply, everybody that want to use resources, they bring their own devices. So the company will not pay any money for that. Okay, we'll stop at this level because we are just delivering the definition here. But remember, this BYOD here, we will discuss this point in the chapter number 8 when we present the scenario of the security threats. When we talk about the quality of services, we will discuss the threats that the BYOD scenario presents. Economically, it's worth, but technically, it's a damage. It's something actually very critical. So we'll see that on time. One of the other considerations is also, and because of this BYOD only, the consumerization of the IT. Actually, people, they would bring their own devices. It does not mean that everybody will bring the same device. No, every and each single user, consumer, employee belonging to the company, they would bring their own specific device. And technology is enhanced daily, and we may actually have an infrastructure, a device brought by, let's say, a user, that it is steps further in advance to what the logical technology or the services the company, let's say, produce does not actually present any compatibility with that. So here, in this point here, the infrastructure, or let's say information technology in general, has to have a compatibility in between what the logical service or business or whatever, the digital scenario produced by the company and the technology that the users are using. There have to be actual compatibility, otherwise there will be no deliverance. If the device brought by the user is not compatible with the service, so there will be no service delivery. Simple. Because of this point only, the last point here, because of this point here only, business owners, they have to think and again they have to concentrate and force their, let's say, way of business delivery to match the technology of today, to keep producing and keep running, and to succeed in the competition they are facing. They have to match, and they have to rethink again and again, daily and continuously, thinking to deliver differently, to deliver services according to the needs of the market. And because of this point only, to think again and again to deliver services upon the technology available in the market, actually when we talk about the speed of delivery, let's say speed of service and the quality of service, there are secrets behind. Technology behind actually the context of the quality of service is a matter of capabilities, potential hardware can present. Potential hardware, or let's say hardware in general, can present. Quantum computing is a matter of how to process the digital services to make it be available for everybody, anywhere, anytime. It's a matter of quantitative computation at a high level. Quantitative computation at a, let's say, yes, at a high level. Quantitative at a high level. It's not quantitative at a low level. It's when we as per actually when we compare this quantum computation, we refer to one of the solutions that can deal with the big data. We define what is the big data. So the quantum computation is one of the technologies that have to be actually utilized for quality of service, quality of, let's say, business delivery. Quantum computation. It's a scenario of quantity, or let's say quantitative computation, matter of processing data or digital processing over the CPUs, yeah, absolutely, in a high level. High actually in the matter of quantity here. And because of this only, also we may talk about the quad processors, let's say core processors, in the sense of we may have actually one machine, only one device, that has more than one CPU, yes. It has dual core, or let's say quad core, or let's say octa core, or pentacore, something like that, or hexacore. So actually it has more than one CPU to process the same processes, or let's say same services at the same time. So there is a matter of quantity here still. A machine needs one CPU, generally. But because of this technology, we might have, and it's available nowadays when you talk about the i3 processors or this i5 or i7, they are all generally four, let's say quad cores. We find 4 CPUs, 4 central processing units inside the machine. This is because of what? Because of the quantity of the data to process, and the quantity of the data that we need to process to make the application actually as fast and feasible, delivering responses to end users. Another technology that enhances this scenario here, the virtualization. Still, we talk about the quantity, maybe, absolutely. Not only the quantity, but also there are security perspectives, there are actually cloning perspectives in the sense of generating duplicated copies for security reasons, for, let's say, ease of use, availability, and resilience, something like that. The virtualization is a scenario of generating a duplicated copy of a physical environment in a logical view. Duplicated copy of a physical environment in a logical view, in the sense of we might have actually 2 or 3 computers in the same machine hardware. It might have 2 computers, means we can use 2 desktops, 2 operating systems, 2, let's say, documents, and let's say 2 mouses to control and things like that, separately, completely separately. Because of what? Because of the virtualization, the hypervisor, or let's say the virtual machines, or there are technologies behind of that, to virtualize the environment. We would have actually a duplicated full copy, another computer, completely another computer, with a very low price and almost zero, because there are free, let's say, scenarios where we can actually virtualize an environment with a free of cost virtualization. And there is an advantage here is that we would not have to have a wide physical space to store machines, since we are actually able to generate duplicated machines within the same physical device. So the same device space is enough for generating 2 or 3 or 4, it depends, as many as we need, and as many as the hardware can lead, of machines in the same physical device, And for sure, this is actually a way where to reduce the cost when we talk about the virtual, let's say, the integrity, when we discussed that during chapter number 3, which is the inbox of new employees dedicated to work for the technical environment. So we centralize the work onto a one machine where all the virtual devices that are actually being centralized. So only one unit to centralize the work. Because of this is actually due to the virtualization only. At the beginning of this chapter, actually, we discussed the scenario of the cloud computing, which is an advancement. We discussed that it has appeared during at the early 2000s, at the early year of the 2000s with the mobile technology. And per now, actually, what we can discuss this cloud service or this on-cloud, or let's say cloud environment, it is a group of services that we will have the benefit of to deliver digital service or to digitalize a business. Those services mainly, they are 3 groups, not only, there are others. So if I ask you a question, whatever, in the quiz or in the middle, whatever, cloud computing is limited to 3 groups only of services, digital services. No, it's not. But mainly they are the pillars, the 3 pillars as groups here. Talk about 3 groups mainly, they are not unique. We might find actually over the cloud an infrastructure to be delivered as a service, IaaS. Infrastructure as a service, IaaS. Here we may find actually the communication channels, the interconnection, the ways how to interconnect devices, things like that. Once you need to expand your network, you may find the service ready for you to use. That's it, upon the need. Infrastructure as a service. Once you need to expand your, let's say, fields, you'll find a way how to connect them privately and securely and securely. Infrastructure as a service. Platform as a service. Once you plug a new device and you need an operating system to run your device, you'll find the device with the operating system ready for you. You do not need to install with a dedicated license, but you'll find it upon your need, and upon your usage, you'll pay. Upon the usage only. You will not pay once for all. No, if you use, you pay. If you don't use, you don't pay. Platform as a service. Software as a service, the third one, software as a service, or SaaS. SaaS is a scenario in which we find application software. Platform as a service, we talked about the system software. Here, in the software as a service, the SaaS, we find the application software ready to be utilized upon the need and wherever you want, actually, wherever you have actually the chance to access the cloud environment. If you need to use a text editor, you'll use it and you'll pay for usage only. If you don't use, you don't pay. It's not yours, and you'll not have to pay for that unless you use it. So software as a service. So 3 categories mainly, they are actually drawn for us as a digital transformation solution. The cloud, which are the IaaS, infrastructure as a service, the PaaS, platform as a service, and the SaaS, software as a service. Those are generally what the cloud presents for us when we talk about the digitalization. From the same point of view, Clouds, they are dedicated to specific platforms in the sense of, for example, if we talk about the cloud that University of Nizwa is using, this cloud has not to be delivered for a partner. It has not to give access to public people. It is on the internet, yes, but it has not to give access to everybody in the street or in the country. No, only the staff and the students of the University of Nizwa, only they would have actually chance to access this cloud. Thus, we talk about the private cloud. Private cloud. Here it is. We talk about the private cloud. Let's take another example. Can we just generate a text document using the Google Drive? Absolutely, yes. Can we use the spreadsheet, or let's say PowerPoints like the one I'm using now, like this one here, this PowerPoint, how I'm presenting it? It's through the Google Drive only. So this PowerPoint, I'm using the software from the Google solution, Google platform. So this is software as a service. But this is delivered from Google, it's not from the University of Nizwa. Thus, this is a public kind of cloud. This is a public cloud. Here we understand that cloud, all of them, they deliver services, but clouds, they are categories, either public cloud or private cloud. More than that, we may find the hybrid cloud. Hybrid means it would have actually portion in public and portion in private. But generally, those are the two main types of clouds, the public cloud and the private cloud. And because of this view only, now I'm using the public cloud service or software here, which is the PowerPoint. I'm not paying any penny. University of Nizwa also is not paying any penny, any besa, nothing. It's free, completely free. So for this, there will be actually a clear minimization of, let's say here, the budget to spend on the solutions to deliver the service. So it is one of the enhancements. It's a positive side. As all the internet and the let's say the remote services to be delivered, the security is one of the concerns. Remote access, it gives actually a chance to expose the data being communicated over the public network, which is the internet. So there is a concern here of security. We'll see that in detail in chapter number 8 also. The hybrid cloud is another scenario, how to implement the hybrid cloud, how to make the cloud belong to one service, or let's say to one service owner, but it has one portion in public and one portion in private. It's one of the constraints that we have to think of, or the business owner has to think of, how to implement it. So, but it is a definition like that. So a hybrid cloud is a cloud that have two types inside the same environment. One part is public and another part is private. A view of the cloud computer and the services to be delivered. PaaS, IaaS, and SaaS. PaaS, IaaS, SaaS. Those are the cloud computer. Case study, please refer to that. Case study, refer to your book, please. Yeah, remember that all the purpose here is to make actually everything successful. But if we destroy the environment and if we consume a lot of energy to deliver the service, so we are the waste side. We may be actually ahead again, but we lost since we are just consuming and destroying the nature. The green computing is one of the technologies that have to be actually followed. It's policies, it's a group of, let's say, rules and policies to be implemented and followed by all the digitalization scenarios to preserve the nature and to maintain the wealth and the gain, the economical, let's say, wealth, the economical theory we define in chapter number 3. It has to enhance this context here, and it is enhanced by this green computer, via which actually we have to talk about the way how to ameliorate power consumption by using, for example, sun energy or something like that, the renewable energy, instead of the, let's say, the regular electricity. So the green computing is a scenario via which we ameliorate the consumption of the energy for the purpose of maintain and preserve the nature, first of all. Second, maintain and preserve the economical theory, which is the gain or the wealth gain. Regardless of the numbers and the percentages we may find, that have to be actually look at that. Otherwise, we go for the loss from two sides. Nature destroyer, let's say, and nature will cause the nature the problem, since we are consuming energy and consuming the resources of the nature. And economically talking, the company will pay more money for the energy and things like that. Technology actually, it enhances whatever the power resources, whether it is the regular electricity or the renewable energy, it would enhance that. So the technology has to enhance this approach, whatever it is. Still talking about the technology only. We were talking about I was talking actually about the PowerPoint I'm using from the Microsoft, sorry, from the Google only, but and it's free of cost. But not only the on cloud services to be free or bad, we may find actually also the FOSS, the free and open source utilities, the FOSS, free and open source software, which are computer, let's say, technologies and technology that can deliver services similar exactly to the licensed and the genuine software. If you notice very well, actually, in our classes, I'm using Unix, Ubuntu computer, and I'm using the LibreOffice to deliver the slides and deliver all the textual contents. This LibreOffice is one of the, let's say, textual and text edition, presentation edition tools, which is completely free and open source. We can edit it as the way as we need, if we can absolutely technically talking, and it's completely free. We don't pay any penny, free of charge, and free to use it how we would like, wherever we would like. Also, there is no constraint. So free open source software is one of the, let's say, solutions, computers, let's say, programs that we can utilize for delivering services free of charge. No license are required, and compatible to their platforms also, whatever. It depends on the solution, either it is Unix or Windows or any other. And from this point of view only, the free and open source software, like the Windows operating systems, we may talk about other operating systems. The one I use in my laptop here, actually, it is Ubuntu. It's Unix only. And it is Unix in origin. And one of the very famous operating systems that we may think of to use instead of the Windows actually is PAD. It's a PAD and licensed operating system. The Linux is an operating system that actually it is clearly free and open source. We may utilize it for the same purposes that, as the Windows operating system, to use applications, to serve the internet, to deliver services, to access local networks, extranets, and everything. And these Linux have actually versions and distributions. We may find it for a computer, desktop, a laptop, a server, a mobile device, and things like that. Technology enhancing web technology, let's say, solutions. Remember, when you talk about remote services, we deliver remote service. What does it mean here? We have actually to find the channel, the path, how to deliver remotely. Now I'm presenting you this presentation, and I'm talking with you now, and I'm explaining this course here remotely, how you are receiving my explanation in lifetime over the web services, From the technologies that actually they are very famous to deliver web services, we may talk about programming languages dedicated to the web solution. And those programming languages, they actually, they are variety. They are not only one or two or three only. There is a variety and a long list of programming languages that enhance the web technology, the WW environment technology. The Java is one of them. There is a very powerful technology that can be utilized to implement web solutions because of the way how to solve problems. It gives us a very coherent solution using predefined methodologies like the object-oriented programming concept. So the Java is an object-oriented programming language. Moreover than that, it is compatible to run on the web and on the desk solutions, not only for the web. The Java is not only for the web. It works also for desk solutions. The very famous programming language, like a tag-based programming language, scripting language, let's say the HTML, which is the hypertext markup language, which is the pillar of all web solutions. All web solutions without failure, they are on top to be rendered and displayed for the over the end the terminals. They have to be actually rendered in an HTML format. There are versions also of this HTML. HTML5 is one of the very famous latest distributions, which enhances dedicated tags to facilitate the programming. It embeds dedicated, let's say, media specific, let's say, tags for specific activities to reduce the code only. Not only those two, there are other a long list, as I said, as famous programming language that we can refer to in order to deliver web services like the Ruby, the Python, the PHP, the ASP.NET, and so on. There is a long list. All what we were discussing here is the web solution, let's say, or solutions technology, the Java, the HTML, HTML5, the Ruby, the Python, the PHP, the ASP, all of them, they are web technologies. And all what we create using those programming languages, they are to be web services. Web service. To create a website, at the end, the website is a web service. To create a web application, the web application at the end of the day, it's a web service. Mobile application that runs over the web, the mobile application is a web service also. So since it is to be delivered over the web, it would be considered as a web service. It is a web service only. One of the utilities to make actually web services communicate between each other is one of the technologies that actually it makes all the programming languages see each other. What does it mean? If we create, if I come back a little bit one step here, if we create a web application using the Java, okay, any problem? No. And another application is created using, for example, Ruby, the Ruby programming language here. How they will communicate to each other? They cannot. Directly, they cannot. There have to be actually a web service to make them communicate and share data. Those web services powerfully actually, they are created using the XML, extensible, or let's say extended markup language. It is something like the HTML, but actually it has a specific way how to write. It's a tag-based programming language to generate actually services like the web services. And those web services, they are to be utilized for making web solutions communicate with each other while they are created using different programming languages. XML. Service-oriented architecture, it's actually a way how to design, to conceive, to make the conception of a web solution, or generally we talk about an information, let's say, system solution. It's a digital system to be conceived based on the what? The needs. So the services to be delivered, they guide the way how to conceive the architecture of the system. We need services 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So those services, they would guide how to develop the application. So service-oriented architecture. Because before creating a system or information system or web solution, there have to be a conception how to make the system run at the end. This conception have rules. One of the very famous rules actually for us, since we are not tackling the technology from the scratch, we need a specific activity to deliver our service. So service-oriented architecture is our concept here for our solution. So remember the name. I will not discuss this case, actually you refer to the book, it's a matter of case study. Yeah. And because of this service-oriented architecture only, we may find actually a web service, that collects services on a central point. Those services, those are actually dedicated to different companies, to different end users, something like that. centralized in a web, let's say, solution, sorry, in a focal point. This focal point actually, it delivers whatever the resource required using a web service, something like that. And this is one of the benefits of the service-oriented architecture. This architecture here can clearly draw what does it mean, a service-oriented architecture. It's an example, it's a case study, this one. Yeah, we talked about the cloud computing services, and we talked about the open source, free and open source software. Now we talk about the outsourcing of the solutions. Outsourcing, what does it mean? For a period of time, for example, University of Nizwa needs a specific, let's say, software to utilize it, or to use it, or to give it to the end users. We need only, for example, for 1 month only. Should the University of Nizwa pay the whole year or a whole license for the software for other users? No, there is one of these solutions, which is to outsource, to rent a company or dedicated company to deliver such a service or to implement such a solution, or let's say to enhance what is this will here. So from here, we talk about the outsourcing. A third party tier would do what the company or the business owner requires for a certain period of time in a certain circumstances. Outsourcing, remember. Yeah, so here actually is a benefit behind the use of the outsourcing and the whatever, remote services in general. We are about to finish this chapter actually. I'll stop here, and I'll continue next class. Unless you have any questions, actually, I'll give you the chance to discuss, please. If you have any questions, please raise them now.